Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra. This is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. With me is Shell Bhatnagar as well. And the stock markets right ahead of the big event, interim budget tomorrow, has recovered now. In fact, the Nifty is now at 184 points upside, 21,700 by its side right now as far as the Nifty is concerned. All the sectors are buzzing in trade, led by healthcare, small caps, realty space, the PSU banks, all upwards of 2% each in trade today, and all the sectors are now buzzing in trade. The Nifty Bank is supporting the markets, both private financial services and the PSU banks now up into the green as well. You're also looking at the metals FMCG index now supporting the index. The top stocks that are buzzing in trade, a lot of them are from the pharma pack, Dr. Reddy's, Sun Pharma, both up by around 4% each. Divi's Laboratories, Cipla, these are the stocks that are buzzing. Of course, apart from this, you also have some of those auto names like Tata Motors, Maruti Suzuki buzzing in action in trade. Then you also have heavyweight counters like Bajaj Finserv that have recovered from the results losses as well. And then you have some stocks like Grasim, State Bank of India, Power Grid, Adani Ports, all of them buzzing in trade. A lot of big movers coming in from the Nifty 500 basket. Godfrey Phillips, 10% higher. ICICI Securities, 6% up in trade. Amara Raja Batteries, that's up by 6%. AIA Engineering, that's up by 6%. Clean Science and Technology, 6% higher. Balaji Amines, Angel One, Alkyl Amines, all of them also buzzing in trade. A lot of buzz in the chemical action too. Shell, looks like, we are heading into a budget which may actually spring in surprise. At least the markets are discounting that.
Right, Sakshi. And the most outstanding part of today's performance, as it is very volatile, is the earnings reaction to many stocks. So let's start with the negative news for a change. You remember Voltas and SRF had come up with a disastrous set of numbers, and look how the markets have rewarded them so handsomely. In fact, within the F&O space, the maximum when you see volume buzzers are on SRF as well as Voltas. A very, very strong show coming in here, 23.26 for SRF, which is up 4%, and that is after profit has halved. And this volume is 5.7 times the 5-day average. Look at Voltas, phenomenal move come in there. The count is almost 8% higher, 1095, when the stock has moved from a loss, from a profit to a loss in the third quarter numbers. 7 times the volume, and that's about 91 lakh shares. Now let's look at the good news. So bad news has been rewarded with such intensity and enthusiasm. Look at the good news. Look at Bank of Baroda. Now this is at a record high, 4% higher, and a very smart set of earnings coming in. 247 is what the price is, and about 5 crore 48 lakh shares have been traded, again 2.5 times the average. Look at Suzlon, phenomenal set of earnings, and the counter is now buzzing with gains right from the early morning stuff. If you look at the price for Suzlon, at the moment the counter is trading about 3.5% higher, now 5% higher, 45.95, and the earnings were phenomenal, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Let's now welcome our guest on the show. Vinay Rajani joins in. He's the Senior Technical and Derivatives Analyst and Retail Research at HDFC Securities. Welcome, Vinay, and thank you so much for taking the time out for Business Today TV. Tell us, what are you watching out for? Any particular stocks on your radar? Last 25 minutes to go before the interim budget.
Yeah, good afternoon and thanks for having me on the show. So yeah, nice recovery has come from the lower level. Nifty actually broke the level of 21,500 in the morning and witnessed a sharp recovery and closing on a strong wicket, and 21,700 where we saw a maximum open interest in the call side. Now Nifty is holding above the 21,700. So according to us, this was a crucial resistance, and Nifty seems to be closing above this 21,700. The direct resistance comes in at 22,000. So the way it is going, the way small caps are moving, the way mid caps are closing, if you were to look at small cap index chart, it is closing at the all-time high. Mid cap is also showing same kind of strength. So breadth of the market is quite strong. It's just a matter of time that Nifty and Bank Nifty will also show the some momentum to come. Bank Nifty has already witnessed some short covering. So overall, looks strong setup for the charts, and I think Nifty is headed for the target of 22,000 in next couple of sessions, and I'm bullish. And 21,500 should be the stop loss. And as far as stocks are concerned, some of the stocks which are showing strength today is the PSU banking space. So after the results of Bank of Baroda, we have seen that entire PSU bank space is into a radar. So stock like SBI, which is a large cap PSU bank, is closing on a strong note, trading at 640. Can be looked at for going long for 5 to 6% gain from here. So we can expect 5 to 6% upside target, keeping a stop loss at 620. And another stock which I like on the chart is the Colgate Palmolive, which is closing on a strong wicket, and it is a breakout from the consolidation. So the FMCG space, Colgate looks good. 2575 is the rate. On the upside, we may see 100 rupees upside. 2675 would be the target, and today's low can be kept at a stop loss, which is around 2500. So there are many stocks which are looking good, but if I were to choose two stocks, then I would go for the SBI and Colgate Palmolive.
Right. And Colgate Palmolive, Sakshi, is an interesting stock, record high today. And when you see the positioning within the FMCG space, it's the top gainer within the index, up 3.3%. And of course, a record high. This has come on a very, very strong rise in open interest to the extent of about 2.5%. We normally don't discuss this stock,
Yeah.
but it's shining with all its 32 teeth, absolutely bright and shiny as far as prices are concerned. What else should we ask Mr. Rajani? Sir, L&T has been one of the disappointments in the market today. And if you look at how the stock has behaved, it's down about 5%, 4.5% as of now. And this has come up with a sharp sense of volume, about 90 lakh shares traded here. Numbers were okay, but the markets took an umbrage, and it's the worst performing stock on the Nifty. What are the buy zones that you would step in and get into L&T at current levels?
Yeah, so important thing to notice is the today's low. So today's low is 3387, and if you were to track a 50 days exponential moving average, which we usually gives important, we used to give importance to it. 50 days exponential moving average was placed around 3400. So it in the history also we saw this stock taking support there and bouncing back and resuming its uptrend. So same thing has happened today. We have seen a 100 rupees recovery from the lower level. I think today's low can be kept as a stop loss, and at this price one can think of going long. No doubt there are many other options to go long, but as of now it has bounced back from the very strong support, which happens to be around 3400 50 days EMA. So keeping that stop loss in mind, one can remain long. Those who are holding longs, I would suggest this stop loss. And if somebody wants to take long position, then this stop loss can be kept into the mind.
Okay. Sakshi, the other sector that's moved dramatically across the board is the PSU banking basket. Maybe it was the Bank of Baroda earnings that kick-started the rally, which in any case was already in place because of PNB's numbers that came
Yes.
2 days ago. So across the board, you see, stocks like UCO Bank, 7% higher, 46.95. Bank of Baroda, PNB, we've discussed ad nauseum. You have Maharashtra Bank, 55 rupees, almost 2.7% higher. PSB, Indian Overseas Bank, Indian Bank, as well as Bank of India. All these counters are now thick in trade. Let's get Mr. Rajani's view in. Any PSU stock apart from Canara Bank, PNB, and Bank of Baroda that you would see improving on the charts, Mr. Rajani?
Yeah, so consistent performer has been Bank of Maharashtra. It already announced the result, and technicals were already positive, and into primary trend was clearly up. and after some small correction or consolidation, stock resumes its uptrend. So this has been the favorite stock from the PSU space for last 3 quarters, and still it is continuing. So it is one of the consistent player, we can say, which is coming out with good quarterly numbers on a consistent basis, and technicals are also suggesting that the stock is headed higher, and the stock current price is 55. I see this stock reaching a target of 60 in the short term. So for the traders also, for positional trader as well as for investor, apart from the large cap PSU banking space like SBI, Bank of Baroda, I like a stock like Bank of Maharashtra, which is looking extremely strong on the chart. Short term target can be 60, and support is placed around 53. The another stock which I like technically is the central bank, which also announced a good result, and technical setup is also convincing. So central bank is one of the mid cap PSU banks, we can say, trading at 57, looks very strong on the chart, and this can show a target of 63 in the coming times. So overall, I like central bank and Bank of Maharashtra on the positional basis.
Okay. Let's also focus a bit on the pharma space that's been buzzing. 3% higher for the Nifty healthcare index. That's the top moving sector right now. And you do have stocks like Dr. Reddy's, Sun Pharma, of course, reacting to the earnings as well. Sun Pharma earnings reported like 17.4% year-on-year growth in the consolidated net profit for the quarter, and the consolidated revenues from operations also grew 10% year-on-year to 12,381 crores, and of course this was higher than the street estimates. The board has also recommended an interim dividend payout of 8.5 rupees, has set February 9 as the record date for eligible shareholders, and of course the dividend will be paid out by 23rd of Feb. 3.2% higher, 14.16 for Sun Pharma. How would you look at the stock, and of course the rest of the moves that we are seeing in the pharma space?
Yeah, so entire pharma space has been performing very well. Sun Pharma is the stock which is trading at its all-time high. Today only it registered an all-time high of 1439, which is very strong, we can say, and volumes are quite strong, and numbers were also there. So this is the stock which has taken the lead in the pharma space, not others. Not all the stocks are trading at all-time high. Some of the stocks has been into a correction mode like Divi's Lab and Biocon, and many did not perform. But some of Sun Pharma is continuously doing well for last 3 months, and I think trend is into continuation. For last 3 days, it is finding support around 1360, 1350. So for traders, I would suggest that one should continue to hold on the long positions with the stop loss of 1350, and on the trailing basis, stop loss should be kept. So it is into continuation. There is no fresh breakout, but pharma space looking good, and Sun Pharma setup is quite strong. So definitely can be kept with a stop loss of 1350 as far as short-term traders are concerned.
Sakshi, you've really caught up on the pharma space. Huge kind of moves that are coming up on the likes of Dr. Reddy's post the earnings. You have Cipla doing pretty well when it comes to the prices that are moving. I see Divi's Lab at days high, and all these are accompanied by a pretty sharp jump in volume. You remember you picked up Syngene.
Yeah.
That was the first stock that we marked today, up 5.2%, and this is 755 for you. When you look at the open interest, that's down in Syngene, which basically means that a lot of short covering is happening. Dr. Reddy's had a blowout performance when it came to the third quarter. Its US business is doing fantastically well. It's at a record high 61.52, and of course we've discussed the likes of Laurus Labs, we've discussed the likes of Lupin, etc.
And Piramal Pharma.
Piramal Pharma as well. In even yes, actually Piramal Pharma.
Yeah.
That was a blowout performance that came as far as earnings are concerned. Actually, I always look at it as PPL Pharma, and Piramal Enterprises is the NBFC. So
Yeah.
it just tricked my mind for a bit. No stopping PNB, ladies and gentlemen. 114.70 for you, and of course it's the auto stocks we need to take a view on, Sakshi, because tomorrow is the first day of February, and these companies would be declaring their monthly volume sales for Jan. Therefore, TVS Motors is now changed a digit. It's in the 2,000 rupee range and doing phenomenally well, up about 1.5%. But Exide, Eicher Motors, Tata Motors in particular, and Maruti, all very sharply in the green. Mr. Rajani, any auto stock that you like?
Yeah, so I like TVS motor. You just discussed about it. It witnessed some healthy correction from the higher level. The all-time high was placed around 2108, and from that level it came down to 1923. And again today we can see some movement coming in. It is at the 3 days high, and it found support near its 50 days EM and bounced back. So it is a good sign because primary trend was up, and the two-wheeler space like Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto already into an uptrend, and bullish momentum was there. So this is the stock which is now ready to go up, and likely to resume its primary uptrend. So finding only going for only one stock, I would choose TVS Motor to go long from here.
Okay. And your take on Maruti then, Vinay, because of course the earnings have come out. Q3 consolidated profit has zoomed 33 odd percent. For a quarter, the profit is upwards of 3,000 crores, 3,207 crores for Maruti. The revenue has jumped 15% odd as well. This time around, it's come in at 33,512 odd crores. How would you look at Maruti Suzuki? If we look back, Shell, Maruti was brought in as a dream for the middle class in India, and now it's clocking in profits of 3,000 crores
Absolutely.
on a quarterly basis. The way it has performed over the last many decades, but it's at 10,203 at this current level. Vinay, what would you say?
Yeah, so this is the stock which has not performed and not participated in the bullish rally, and now seems to be reversing its trend. I saw the chart, and I can see that 9,800 is a multiple bottom. For two times it has taken support there and bounced back, and in fact it also coincides with the long-term moving average, which happens to be around 200 days moving average, which we used to track. So that has acted as a strong support, the double bottom around 9,800, and now the stock is showing some momentum and surpassed the 50 days EM also. So technically the stock is improving. If it closes here, definitely it can be considered as a strong close with a higher volumes, and oscillator indicators that we track is looking strong on the chart. So yes, this is the stock which can give support to the Nifty in coming days, because the TVS Motors and Marutis of the world have not given that kind of performance in which in this kind of market. So I would suggest that this is the time where we are witnessing some trend reversal, the bullish trend reversal, and the stock is headed for the target of 10,500 in the near term, and it has also got the potential to reach its previous high, which was around 10,900. So overall setup is good, and the 9,800 is a strong support and a strong reversal, we can say, on the charts for the short to medium term. So yes, looking stronger on the charts right now.
Okay, let's look at the Nifty again. What was lost yesterday is back with the index, 21,731. We were down 0.99% yesterday, and we are back up by exactly that amount. Still about 12 minutes left. This is the final session for the day ahead of the interim budget, as also we are on T-1 when it comes to Nifty's weekly expiry. Sakshi, across the board, there are gains coming in.
Yeah.
When you look at the components of the Nifty, let me point out the winners that are there in front of you. And let's start with the, how should I say, the FMCG space and the pharma space. We've discussed Dr. Reddy's up 4.5%, iShares up 3.6%, again an auto play. We are waiting for their volume sales for tomorrow. 38.39 for you as far as iShares is concerned. Actually, the first 5 stocks, 3 are pharma and 2 are auto. Oh wow! Out of the first 7 stocks, 1, 2, 3, 4 are pharma and 3 are auto. So Dr. Reddy's, Divi's, Sun and Cipla, then iShares, Tata Motors and Maruti. That's how the markets have positioned themselves ahead of the budget. And when you look at how the broader markets are, Sakshi, in the pink of health, I don't think so you would have asked for a better pre-budget kind of a momentum. You look at the advanced decline ratio on the National Stock Exchange, 1570 shares in the green, 650 in the red. So that's an easy 2.5:1. About 5:2 is the advanced decline ratio. All 19 indices, ladies and gentlemen, are in the green, and I feel very, very happy about it. Pharma index is the top gainer, record high, 2.6% higher. Nifty Alpha 50, 2.3% higher, 47,000. So there are 5 indices, Sakshi, which are up between 2.25 and 2.6%. PSU Bank, small cap, realty, pharma.
Yeah.
Then you have about 7 indices that are up more than 1%, and that goes on to show what the momentum really is. NSE 500 advanced decline ratio 4:1.
Absolutely. It's a stunning move right there, right ahead of the interim budget. Of course, we couldn't have asked for a better day ahead of the budget. And here's hoping that at least something comes about so that the market sustain this momentum too. Let's look at Religare Enterprises, for example. The stock has shot up today. There are reports that suggest that the Burman family of Dabur have increased their stake. There has been a large deal. It's 4.2% higher in trade, and there are reports that also suggest that they have increased their stake by around 4%, and now the cumulative stake would be somewhere to the tune of 25%, and the stake hike was done at an average price of 235 rupees per share at this point in time. That is what has led to this sharp move on Religare Enterprises. Vinay, do you have a take or do you cover this stock?
Yeah, so today there is a significant improvement on the chart, and previously we saw that gradually it was coming up and gradually it improved a bit on the charts. And recent high, which was registered at 280 in the month of September 2023, it witnessed a correction, and now for last couple of weeks it has been showing some sign of accumulation. And today we have seen a great long build up, like the big volume candle is there. So definitely setup is improving, and the stock is headed higher. Today's high is an important resistance, which is around 246. Once we see this stock surpassing 246, then we can expect the previous highs also, which was around 278. So definitely the setup has changed to bullish, and 246 can be looked at for the first target. And once it sustains above it, then we can expect some higher targets as well.
Okay, one stock I'd like to mark, this is the EV slash solar theme, Borosil Renewables. We are looking at the electricity theme as far as the panels are concerned, and moving 7.5% higher, 635. If you remember, some days ago we had Mr. Bolinjkar joining us. He had mentioned that this is one of the stocks that I'd like to purchase at lower levels. Well, there are no lower levels, but the stock did correct to somewhere like 580, 590 a couple of days ago. It's 577 in the morning, and look at the price now, almost at a day's high. So this is something that I wanted to mark. And of course, stocks which are running away are Exide Industries, 338 for you, Aisha Motors and Bata India.
Absolutely. All right, let's look at some more stocks that are buzzing in trade as of now. I can see the capital markets related stocks really jumping in trade. Bombay Stock Exchange stock is now up 6.6%. Angel One 6.3% higher. ICICI Securities 6.3% higher in trade. Vinay, would you be able to comment on any of these stocks and tell us, what's really happening there? We were also looking at UTI, AMC, then even HDFC, AMC moved up in trade in the morning today. How are you looking at this entire basket of stocks that are linked to capital markets?
Yeah, so definitely the entire sector has been performing well. Angel One did very well and witnessed a the healthy correction recently. And for last 2 days, again, it is performing well. So the primary trend for this entire NBFC and broking related companies is stronger. ICICI Securities also moved up today. Motilal Oswal did very well. Angel One is doing well. Then BSE, as you talked, BSE is also resuming its uptrend. So overall, the primary trend, if you were to look at the last 1 year's trend, has been very strong. And after the correction, the stock like BSE and Angel One can resume its uptrend. So I believe that considering the overall trend, definitely after today's movement, we can generate some long recommendations in the stocks like Bombay Stock Exchange, as well as the stock like the Angel One. So looking stronger on the positional charts. Short-term corrections we have already witnessed, and now they are headed higher from this level. So in this kind of market, if the mid-caps, small caps continue to do well, then definitely it is good indication for the broking company as well. So turnover are very high in the market, derivative volumes are high, and mid-caps, small caps are performing well. So this is the best time we can say for the broking companies, and charts are showing that kind of strength also. So definitely we can expect some good returns from this particular segment from here as well.
Okay, Sakshi. We have now 6 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start wrapping up the markets. I'll start with the record highs that we've seen within the Nifty. They make huge sense to look at them. because they are the ones that are driving sentiment on the Lal Street. So Dr. Reddy's and Sun Pharma we've discussed more than often. Both of them up about 3.5% and 4.8% respectively on huge volumes. Tata Motors we've discussed ad nauseum since morning. This is 3% higher on a volume of 2 crore 41 lakh shares. Grasim, Power Grid and Bajaj Auto. So we have 2 pharma stocks, we have 2 auto stocks, 1 cement player and 1 from the power space. Okay, now let's shift focus and drill this a little longer on the NSE 500. We've discussed Godfrey Phillips in the morning, 9% higher. We have a hospital stock, Narayan Hirdale, 1320, 5.5% higher, and the likes of Bank of Baroda. It's one of those days, actually, we haven't mentioned Cochin Shipyard even once since we started the conversation. 915 for you, ladies and gentlemen. 4.1% higher. The early morning tick on this one was 930, 935 rupees. That was a blowout that came after the company declared very strong quarterly earnings. Then of course Blue Star, we have Colgate Palmolive, Swan Energy, K Fintech, as also AIA Engineering. All these stocks related to the ancillary space within the cement, within the mutual fund industry, as also within the FMCG space. Sakshi.
Absolutely. Vinay, anything else that comes to your mind? We are right ahead of the interim budget. Any particular stocks that you believe are likely to gain from tomorrow's budget, sure, short? Do you think the government is really going to push its pedal as far as the railways, defense, or maybe even the power stocks are concerned? Anything that one should be really looking ahead and looking to grab an opportunity to buy into?
So there is nothing short in the market, but definitely I would give respect to the charts, and Exide industry from the auto and auto ancillary space is looking strong and closing on a strong wicket. So stock is trading at 335, keeping a 325 as a stop loss. One can remain long and expect a good gain in the coming days. So I'm expecting 20 to 25 rupees upside in the stock like Exide industry, which is looking strong on the chart. So one can look at this stock for next 2-3 sessions from here.
Okay, let's also look at Motherson Sumi at this point in time. I think the earnings have come about for Motherson. Let's see how that one is reacting till the time. I'll pull out some of the earnings that are coming in for the company. I think the April to, I think this is a 9-month, October to December revenue has come in at 21.17 billion rupees. And when we look at the net profit for the quarter, it's 168 odd crore rupees at this point in time. We're also looking at okay, so these are the two numbers that I have. Let's look at the stock. Not reacting that much, 0.7% down in trade. We'll drill down a little details and find out how this stock reacts. But Vinay, do you have an opinion on Samvardhana Motherson?
So I can see that the overall primary trend is up, and the stock recently surpassed the resistance of 104. Now the previous resistance will interchange its role as a support. So 103, 104 would act as a strong support, and positional setup is good, sector is good. So I think the trend continuation is there. Now we have to see how number gives the reaction, but overall chart, looking at the chart, it looks strong. After some consolidation, it is likely to resume its uptrend.
Okay. Sakshi, I'll just spend a minute on the railway sector. Let's look at the 4 crown jewels which make up the railway space on the PSU side. IRFC 5.9% higher, 176.50. We have RVNL closing at 308.55, 4.2% higher. Railtel 439, 3.6% higher. RITES 743, 3% higher. And IRCTC 980 for you, 1.64% higher. IRCON 1.5% higher, 238. This is the railway pack from the PSU side. From the private sector side, because Exide, Amara Raja is moving, therefore HBL Power is 7% higher, 538.75. As also the two wagon makers, Tex Rail 220.50, 1.7% higher, and Titagarh 1% higher, 1098. All running up ahead of expectations on what is likely to be further hike in capital expenditure from the government side within the railway space. Sakshi, 1 minute and it's to you.
Well, it's a good day. 1.3% higher for the Nifty Bank. 45,960 is what you see on your screens. You also have the Sensex that's up 0.7%. You have the Nifty that's up 0.9%. Now 21,709 currently on the Nifty. The mid caps are roaring 1.6% higher, 48,565. Small caps up by 2.15%. It's the small caps that are leading the rally in terms of the major indices. The Nifty advanced decline ratio is 1535 stocks into the green versus 744 stocks on the downside. The Nifty gainers include stocks like Sun Pharma, Tata Motors, Cipla, SBI, Maruti, Grasim as the top movers. As far as some markets are concerned and the Nifty is concerned, Dr. Reddy is definitely top of the charts, 5% higher in trade. Of course, all the sectors are closing in into the green. Strong moves on the healthcare index, PSU banks, realty, auto and the small caps. These are the 5 indices that have pulled up the markets. F&O space, it's Syngene, Voltas, Exide, Gujarat Gas and Bank of Baroda, some of the top movers, upwards of 5% to even 10% higher in trade. The Nifty 500 stocks includes volume buzzers also, like, Godfrey Phillips tops the charts, 10% higher. Borosil Renewables, 7% higher. Alembic Pharma, 7% higher in trade. BSC, ICICI Securities, already mentioned below. Now, Delivery, that's the one that's moving in, 6% higher. Hitachi Energy, IRFC, these are the top stocks that have moved the markets. Let's also look at the Nifty downside. Some of the stocks that have not contributed, only 4 stocks now.
Wow.
That are closing in into the red. L&T 4.2% down, Titan 1% down, BPCL 0.4% and Tata Consumer Products. 4 stocks that have pulled down, not participated in the kind of move that we have seen in today's trade. But with that, the markets have shut shop 186 points higher on the Nifty, 21,708. Well, thanks a lot, Vinay, for being with us on this special edition, and thanks a lot, Shell, also for being with us. All eyes on the big day, the D-Day budget tomorrow, and we will be live from 8 a.m. So don't miss watching all the action in around the budget starting 8 a.m. on Business Today television.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today, 32 years of leadership, innovation and business brilliance. Subscribe now.